I like to paint furniture. It's a pandemic. I can't go shopping for furniture. I wanted to paint a beautiful lingerie chest like I did before. I'll show you in a minute, but I can't go shopping. I have to stay home. What's a girl to do? So I did the only thing I could do. I visited the Hoard. The Hoard's my collection of furniture I have stashed in my basement. Here's a bookshelf. I could paint that. Well, there's a beautiful buffet, but I have plans for it and I don't have the materials I need. And I'm stuck at home. What else do I have? Well, there's this old china cabinet. Look at it. It's filthy. It's got to be washed outside. I can't clean that inside. There's this little end table. And then there's this giant clock. I'm going to do something with that, but that's not what I want. Hey, what's that? A vanity. Hey, that's kind of cute. I think the vanity might be the perfect thing. After deciding this was the piece I wanted to paint, I cleaned it thoroughly with Orange Awesome. It's a really good cleaner. I decided I wanted to paint the piece a lot of different colors, very whimsical-like. But first, it needed a base coat. My favorite paint is Debbie's DIY. And I chose White Swan to paint the piece first. I wanted the top to remain white. DIY paint has lots of pigment and goes on smooth. Using the Paint Pixie brush, I put one coat of paint all over the piece. When I finished, I noticed there were little holes all around the edge of the vanity. And I remember my mother having one like this. They used to put a skirt around it and they would put it on with tacks. Well, that wasn't going to do because I wasn't going to put a skirt on it. So I used my wood putty and puttied the little holes. When the putty was dry, I sanded it with my rotary sander, and I also hand sanded it. I decided I didn't like the arms that held the vanity skirt, so I took those off too, and I had to putty there to fill in some holes. Once I had it smooth, it was ready for the next layer of paint. Using my Paint Pixie Frenchy brush, I painted black around the legs. I like to paint in a back and forth direction on legs. I also taped it to keep some of the spots completely clean of paint. Later I'd go back and paint those a lime color. I used DIY Little Black Dress for the bottom part of the legs. Then I used Mermaid Tail for the next part of the legs. It's a beautiful turquoise color. When you're stuck at home because of a pandemic virus and you need a particular color of paint, what do? I can tell you what you do. You just make it. To make lime green paint, I mixed equal parts yellow, sunshine yellow DIY paint, and blue iris paint to make a green. To make lime green, you continue adding yellow till you get the color that you want. I used the lime green to paint more details on the legs, and I also used it to paint one of the drawers. Next, I wanted some bright pink, but I only had light pink, So I used my Carnival Red and my white Swan paint to make pink. I continued adding a little blue and a little yellow to try to make a bright pink. I mixed the white and the red, and then I added some yellow and blue, which made a really pretty pink color, but it just was not the pink I wanted. I wanted a bright pink. So after mixing the colors, I finally just added some really bright acrylic paint to get the pink color I wanted. And I used that color on the top part of the legs and on one of the drawer fronts. I used a small brush to help me get into the details. I used some little black dress along the edge of the top, and then I also mixed some blue iris with some white paint and made a light blue to go at the front and the back. I painted one drawer pink and one drawer green, and then I added dots using a sponge. The next step was to add big top sealer to the top so that I could apply a transfer. I chose Winter Sewn Transfer to put on top of the Vanity. IOD transfers are beautiful. This one's in black and white. I sell these in my Etsy shop now during the pandemic. I like to rub over it with a cloth first to make sure that it's adhered good before I start rubbing with the little plastic tool. This design has lots of intricate little pieces. It took quite a while to rub it on top of my piece. I'm not sure if it's because it had so many pieces or that my basement was quite cool that morning. But after rubbing for quite a while, I finally got the transfer to go onto the piece. After you've applied the transfer, rub over it with your hand to make sure it's all pressed down, and then burnish it with a soft cloth. The final step is to apply DIY clear wax. When the wax is dry, about 24 hours, give it a soft buffing and your piece is finished. As you apply the wax, the colors will become more vibrant. Some of that will dull down as the wax dries. Notice the difference in the colors? So if you're stuck at home in a pandemic, do like I did. Go to the Hoard and see what you can find that you can paint. Take what you have and make something out of it. I had red, yellow, and blue, and I created a lot of colors with those colors. So create something and escape some of the troubles of the day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe. See ya.